Part 1. How to think in English and stop translating in your head. Do you want to think in English and finally stop translating English in your head? If your answer is yes, you are not alone. Many learners face the same problem. You want to speak English naturally, but your brain first takes the English sentence, translates it into your native language, and then brings it back to English. That process is slow and stressful. It makes you nervous when speaking and blocks your progress. The good news is that you can break this habit. In this guide, you will learn clear steps and English fluency tips to help you use English without translation. With the right English learning habits, you can train your brain English, start doing real English thinking practice, and finally improve English fluency. First, let's understand the problem. Your brain is comfortable with your native language. It feels like home. When you learn English, your brain tries to connect every new word with the words it already knows, and this creates mental translation. For example, when you hear the sentence, "I'm hungry," your brain quickly changes it into your native language, and then it comes back to English. By the time you reply, the conversation has already moved forward. This habit slows you down. If you want fluent English speaking, you need to stop thinking in your native language. Instead, you must think directly English and skip the middle step. The best way to do this is to build strong English thinking practice. Every day, take a few minutes to describe your world in English. Look around your room and think, "This is my chair. The window is open. I have a cup of tea." These short, simple sentences may look basic, but they are powerful because they teach your brain to think directly in English. Over time, this becomes automatic, and your brain no longer tries to translate. This is true English brain training. Another way to practice is by using everyday English practice. You don't always need a partner to speak. When you walk outside, think in English. The street is busy. I'm walking fast. I see a dog. When you cook, think, I cut the onion. I add salt. I mix the rice. When you plan your day, think, today I will study. Later, I will meet my friend. These small daily habits make your brain more comfortable with English and slowly remove translation. Many learners believe they need perfect grammar before they start speaking, but perfection creates fear. If you want fluent English speaking, don't chase perfection. Focus instead on natural English speaking. Native speakers don't always use perfect grammar in conversation. They use short, simple, and natural sentences. If you try to copy textbook sentences, you will get stuck. But if you use short expressions like, "I'm hungry" or "I don't know," you will practice English speaking in a natural way. Listening also helps you train your brain English. When you listen to English every day, you get used to the rhythm, the sound, and the style. This is a powerful part of English brain training. Watch short videos, listen to podcasts, or even songs. Don't just focus on meaning. Repeat in your head. Copy the style and the tone. If you hear "what's up," repeat it inside your head the same way. This kind of daily English practice makes your brain fast and natural, and soon you will stop translating and start responding. Another method to learn English fast is called chunking. This means learning groups of words instead of single words. If you learn only one word at a time, you will translate. But if you learn whole phrases, you will speak English naturally. For example, instead of learning how and you separately, learn the phrase, "How are you?" Instead of learning can, I, and help, learn, "Can I help you?" When you learn chunks, your brain uses them directly without translation. This is one of the most effective English fluency tips for faster progress. To really grow, you must also stop thinking in your native language. When you don't know a word, don't translate. Try to explain it in English using other words. For example, if you don't know the word screwdriver, just say, "a tool for turning screws." This way, you stay inside English, and you don't allow your first language to interrupt. This habit builds confidence and supports natural English speaking. Strong English learning habits are the secret to progress. Small daily actions are always more powerful than big, rare actions. If you do 10 minutes of daily English practice every day, it will help you much more than 1 hour once a week. Speak to yourself in English when you are alone. Listen to short English every day. Write a short journal in English. These habits slowly change your brain and make it more natural for you to think in English. Of course, you also need to practice English speaking with real people. Talking to yourself is good, but real conversations build true fluency. You can find partners online, join speaking clubs, or use language exchange apps. Don't focus on being perfect. The main goal is to practice. The more you speak, the faster you will reach fluent English speaking. Another useful method is immersion. Immersion means surrounding yourself with English. Change your phone into English. Watch movies with subtitles in English. Read simple books. When you do this, your brain starts to accept English as a normal part of daily life. This is the highest form of English brain training. Now, let's talk about patience. Many learners ask how long it takes to stop translating. The answer is different for everyone. It depends on how much practice you do. If you build strong English learning habits and use everyday English practice, you may notice progress in just a few weeks. But remember, it is not magic. It is training. Think of it like exercise at the gym. One workout will not change you, but daily workouts will. The same is true for English. So, if you want to think in English and stop translating English, focus on these simple steps. Do your English thinking practice every day. Use English in your daily life. Listen, repeat, and copy natural English. Learn in chunks, not single words. Stay away from your native language and describe things in English, even if you don't know the exact word. Build small daily habits and practice speaking with people whenever you can. Surround yourself with English and be patient with yourself. If you follow this plan, you will slowly stop mental translation. You will enjoy natural English speaking, and you will find it easy to think directly English. Your brain will learn to use English without translation, and that is the real key to improving English fluency. Part 2. How to train your brain to think directly in English. In Part 1, we talked about why many learners translate in their heads and how to begin with small daily habits. Now, let's go deeper. To truly think in English and completely stop translating English, you need to build strong English brain training routines. The goal is to create a lifestyle where your mind naturally works in English. With this system, you will enjoy fluent English speaking and develop natural English speaking skills without stress. The first step is to change the way you see English. Many learners think of English only as a subject, like math or science. But if you want to learn English fast, you must see it as a tool for life. Think of English as your second personality. Imagine you have two brains, one for your native language and one for English. Right now, your English brain is weak because you don't use it enough. But with English thinking practice and daily English practice, you can make it strong. The more you use this brain, the less you will depend on translation. A very powerful method is self-talk. Self-talk means speaking to yourself in English when you are alone. You can do this while walking, cooking, cleaning, or even before sleeping. For example, you can say to yourself, "I am cooking rice. The water is hot. Now I add the salt." These sentences are not complicated, but they are real. When you do this often, your brain accepts English as a natural way to express your thoughts. This is the heart of English without translation. You are not practicing for a test. You are practicing for life. Another technique is visualization. This means imagining situations in your head and responding in English. For example, imagine you are at a restaurant. The waiter comes and asks, "What would you like?" In your mind, answer, "I would like chicken, please." Or imagine you are at the airport and the officer asks, "May I see your passport?" You reply, "Here it is." These small mental exercises create strong connections in your brain. This is real English brain training, and it helps you stop mental translation. Listening is another key part of building fluency. But you must listen actively, not passively. Passive listening means playing English music in the background while doing something else. That can help a little, but active listening is much stronger. Active listening means focusing, repeating, and shadowing. Shadowing is when you hear a sentence and immediately say it again, trying to match the speed and sound. For example, if you hear, "It's a beautiful day," you repeat, "It's a beautiful day." This gives you the rhythm of English and helps you think directly English. Over time, your mouth and your brain work together, and you can speak English naturally. Reading also helps you improve English fluency. But don't read like a student who is only focused on grammar rules. Read like a thinker. Choose simple stories, articles, or even social media posts in English. As you read, imagine the situation. Picture the people and events in your mind. The goal is to connect words to pictures, not to translation. When you see the word apple, don't think of the translation in your native language. See the red fruit in your mind. This is how you train your brain English for faster progress. Writing is another powerful tool. Keep a small journal where you write about your daily life in English. Write simple sentences like, "Today I woke up late. I had breakfast. I studied English." When you do this every day, you practice forming sentences directly in English. You are not only writing, You are building the habit of thinking in English. This is part of your everyday English practice. Now, let's talk about fear. Many learners are afraid to speak because they worry about mistakes. But mistakes are not your enemy. They are your teacher. If you want fluent English speaking, you must accept mistakes as part of the journey. When children learn their first language, they make mistakes all the time, but they keep speaking. You should do the same with English. Every mistake you make is another step toward natural English speaking. The more you speak, the more your brain learns to avoid translation and use direct English. Another challenge is speed. Translation slows you down, and this makes conversations difficult. But when you use English-speaking tips like short answers and simple phrases, you can keep the conversation moving. For example, if someone asks, "How was your weekend?" you don't need to give a long answer. Just say, "It was good." "I relaxed at home." Short and simple is better than long and translated. This kind of practice is what makes you sound natural and confident. Immersion is also very powerful. Surround yourself with English in small ways. Change your phone settings to English. Watch TV shows with subtitles in English, not in your language. Follow social media accounts that post in English. Even if you understand only part of it, your brain will slowly adapt. This is the best kind of English brain training because it creates a world where English is normal. With enough immersion, your brain will no longer have time to translate. It will simply use English. Another useful habit is to connect emotions with English. Language is not just words, it's feelings. When you laugh at a joke in English, when you cry at a movie in English, or when you get excited reading a story in English, you create deep memories. These emotional experiences make your brain link English to real life, not translation. This is one of the fastest ways to improve English fluency. Patience is important too. You cannot change your brain in one day. But if you follow these English fluency tips with consistency, you will see progress. Start small with 5 minutes of daily English practice, then grow to 10, 15, or 20 minutes. Each day is another step toward fluent English speaking. If you stay patient, you will notice that one day you are speaking without translation, and you won't even realize when it happened. Finally, remember that the goal is not just to speak. The goal is to live in English. Make English part of your lifestyle. Use it when you think, when you plan, when you imagine, when you speak to yourself, when you write, when you listen, and when you read. The more you connect English with your daily life, the more natural it becomes. And when English becomes natural, translation disappears, so the message is clear. If you want to think in English, if you want to stop translating English, and if you want to enjoy fluent English speaking, you must build habits. Use English thinking practice daily. Do everyday English practice in your life. Focus on natural English speaking instead of perfect grammar. Practice with listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Surround yourself with English. Connect emotions to English. And most of all, be patient. This is how you will stop mental translation, train your brain English, and think directly English. When you follow this system, You will discover that English is no longer just a subject you study. It becomes part of who you are. You will begin to speak English naturally without stress, without fear, and without translation. That is the real secret of fluency.